Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District Board of Trustees special board meeting of Thursday, February 22nd, 2024. Make sure I'm not out in the weeds here. Let's do roll call. First up, I will call the meeting to order at 6:31 PM. Can I do roll call, please?
Brianna Texoni here.
Jesus here.
Fallsgraf here. Item C, a special board meeting agenda for February 22, 2024. This is the approval of the agenda. Is there any, wait a minute, let's move this in.
Where are you on the agenda?
Item C.
Okay, so you're on. Are you on?
Can you put the agenda up here, please? Let's just roll with it. Something might be different. So we called the meeting to order. We need to do a roll call. So now we're going to do approval of the agenda. Just go with me here. No one's dying. Is there anything on the agenda that needs, so we had a motion, a second to approve the agenda or discuss the approval of the agenda. Is there anything on the agenda that needs to be modified?
Yes, President Fallsgraf, we have an amendment to the posted agenda for section 1. The new order of the opening of the meeting, 1C is now approval of special board meeting agenda. That wasn't there when it was posted on Monday of this week.
That was my fault, by the way. Everyone scathed me. Next.
And nomination of Board of Trustee Clerk remains as just one item, and that remains now as one item for 2A nomination Board of Trustee Clerk.
Perfect. Just so everyone's aware, let's call this to question. Is everyone happy with the agenda the way it has been amended? Call the question. Yes.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Jesus, I.
Fallsgraf, aye. So now we will go to board reorganization. Nomination of the Board of Trustees Clerk. Can I have a motion?
I'll move. Second.
Good. This is to fill the functional seat of clerk vacated through a resignation of the board. It will be my pleasure to nominate Board Member DeJesus. Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
You accept this?
I got this. Do you accept the nomination?
No, I was actually gonna nominate Brad.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
I appreciate your service to the board. So kindly you decline the nomination. Okay, so I'll open this up for other nominations.
I nominate Brianna.
I'll second that. So before I call this question, we all understand that we just fast tracked Brianna to being the president 2 years from now. Congratulations. Call the question.
She accepted that.
I do.
I have no choice. Okay, get back to order. Call the question.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Jesus, I.
That's going.
Fallsgraf, aye. Would you move down, please? If she's not sitting in the right place, I've been on consider to need therapy. More therapy, thank you. Should we take a recess? Do you have the cupcakes now? I will not be entertaining more nominations to sit down there and pretend you're not a board member. Okay, here we go. We're back to it. we're back to business. The clerk position is very important. It signs most of nearly everything, all the contracts and PSA approvals and all of that kind of thing. All right. Do we have, so this is a time for public participation at board meetings. The public has a right to comment on any items going into the closed session agenda. Members of the public will be permitted to comment on any other item within the board's jurisdiction under section 7A public comment at board meetings. Is there any public comment at this time?
Not at this time, Mr. Falsgraf.
Okay, so it's time for us to adjourn to closed session. And within there, we may discuss a conference with labor negotiators. We may discuss public employee discussion, discipline, dismissal, release. We may discuss conference with legal counsel and even student matters. Do I have a motion to adjourn to closed session?
A motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call the question.
DeSouza,
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Falls-Graf, aye. The board adjourned to closed session at 6:26 PM. Okay,
36.
6:36, yeah. Thank you. Are we ready? Thank you. Good evening, everyone. We are reconvening the 24th of February, 2024 open session meeting of the Acton Agua Dulce Board of Trustees, and the time is 7:24 p.m. Lester, would you lead us in the flag salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will read the civility statement. When conducting the district's business, we will strive to communicate clearly and concisely with a respect for the time of others, listen objectively, carefully considering the opinions of others, understand the counterproductive effects of disruptive, demeaning, and intimidating behaviors, understand and respect district policies and procedures, and maintain a respect for the rich history of the district and the efforts of others who have served in the past. We have two items to report out of closed session. The first is the board the board approved an agreement for compensation for per staff recommendation. The vote was 3 board members, yes, 1 abstained. I was the abstention. Next, by a vote of 4-0 in accordance with Education Code Section 44929.21, the board took action in closed session to authorize a non-reelection of 2 teachers. That concludes closed session action. It is time for public comments, recognitions, and reports. Do we have public comments?
Not at this time.
Moving on then, item 8, correspondence, proposals, and reports. We have the add a rep.
Hello, so I'm Gina Lawton and getting the lowdown with Mr. Sparks right now. And for VHS, we want to give a huge shout out to the girls basketball team. They are in the semifinals and qualified for state championships. Their next game is on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. So come on out and wherever that may be, let's support our athletes. Softball and baseball and track and swim have started. We also want to congratulate the soccer teams. They both all went to playoffs as well. So great job. VHS, keep it up. At High Desert, we are rolling in soccer right now. And just getting started this week with our games. Tomorrow we host our first soccer tournament. It's at High Desert on our fields. We also have dance force coming up in March 9th and 10th. We'll be performing ballroom dancing at AV College. Also tomorrow we invited our metal art crew. So they'll be joining us along with Lake Elizabeth. We just want to also say thank you to our fellow colleagues for all their hard work and dedication to all of our kids here at Acton Agua Dulce, and I think that's about it. Anything else? Okay, that's a quick update.
Thank you very much. CSEA representative. Nothing. Hazelin, it's your turn, student representative to the board.
Yes.
Well, thank you. So I'll start with the elementary schools. Tomorrow at 1:30 p.m., they'll be hosting a special assembly in honor of Black History Month, where they'll learn a lot of valuable information about the really influential African-American people in our history, and lots of kids are looking forward to that. They had a assembly on fire safety by Smokey the Bear, which was obviously a big hit. Everyone loves Smokey the Bear. And Aid and Vasquez from Coach Kiana Harris taught the kids a simple hula dance when they earned themselves a hula party. That was really fun. Upcoming is they have a Read Across America Spirit Week from March 4th to the 8th. And then the next upcoming awards assembly for the elementary school is March 29th. So make sure you put that in your calendars. For High Desert, we have some Hawk highlights. So we have, of course, I'm going to push these names probably, so I'm so sorry. Luis Mencia, Jack Koza, Caleb Fancy. And then for our teacher highlights is staff highlights, excuse me, Miss Heather Goldstein, the ASB advisor, and Miss Alford. Yay! They had a red, white, and pink school spirit day on the 14th to celebrate Valentine's Day. And they had their winter dance on the 8th, which was tons of fun, I imagine. They have the color run coming up tomorrow and pastries with the principal at 9 a.m. with topics discussed such as like AI and education, which is really important to go over. They have a Medal of Honor Day coming up on the 29th. The 8th grade students will be mentoring the 5th and 6th grade students about really valuable Medal of Honor lessons and how they can implement Medal of Honor into their daily lives. The dance force competition is on March 8th and 9th at AVC. Formal invitations for the district and the school board are to come, so that shall be fun. High Desert has been working to bridge the Meadowlark and High Desert this year with tournament teams for flag football and soccer. The dance force is also bridging the two schools with the 4th and 5th grade dance team and the 6th, 8th grade dance team. Thank you to the dance force coaches, Gina Botten and Christine Belmont, for their outstanding leadership and continuing to grow that program. Then they have an arts day on March 11th. Community members will be sharing their talents and skills in the artistic field. Presenters will include the following fields such as landscape painting, fabric art, anime, photography, sketching with pastels, printmaking, watercolor, instruments, music, escape room, guitar, ballroom dancing, belly dancing, and the school board is invited and admin to join and celebrate the arts. The certain high school Vasquez students are invited to help with certain presenters in their area of expertise and assist with them teaching the middle schoolers. That's a great opportunity for our high schoolers to take on a more mentoring idea. We did it last year. I was lucky enough to be a part of it, and it's a huge fun. It's great for everyone involved. Now for the high school, this requires a little bit of backstory so you can really understand the yearbook's big award that we just got. So we have a publishing company, we use Walsworth, and Walsworth covers over 5,000 high schools all across America, and they get more every year. And they have this big book called the Possibilities Book. It has in it examples of yearbooks that show quality, uniqueness, and just outstanding demonstrations on how yearbooks should look. From their spread designs to their creative elements, everything is in this book. Vasquez had the honor of being featured in this year's Possibilities book from one of our modular elements from the Senior Sunrise page of the last year's yearbook. It's a huge success to be honored in this. This book is given to every school that they work with, as well as new schools who are thinking about using Walsworth as their publishing company. So shout out to our past yearbook students who worked on that book who have returned to this year, which is Jeremiah William, Alex Kuntz was last year's editor-in-chief, and then myself. We hope to continue to bring our school district this excellence of yearbooks that we have shown in our last year. And we're honestly really excited to show you this year's yearbook. So we have to wait for that. Of course, I'd also like to shout out girls basketball. Made it to the semifinals and regionals, that we've heard. And this is fantastic. It's the furthest any of our sports have gone in a very long time. So I encourage everyone to be at that game on Tuesday to support our girls. We had a Valentine's Day Spirit Week with perfect pair days, like twin, and then we had anti-Valentine's Day, which wear black, and then Valentine's Day colors. Yeah, it was a big hit. And Dress Like Your Type Day, which was also a big hit. We like to thank ASB for all that they do, putting together these fantastic Spirit Weeks. Everyone really enjoys them. Upcoming on Saturday is our winter formal put on by the junior class. Our theme is Starry Night. And we have seen previously that some of the attendance for our school events, and specifically our dances like homecoming and more, have been lacking. So teachers and students are banding together to figure out ways to solve this. So in hopes that attendance will be up for the winter formal, some teachers are offering like PBIS awards or homework passes to students to go and have a great time. And we have started tardy lockouts at the high school. So 3 tardies equal a lunch detention, and then 3 lunch detention equals Saturday schools. So we've already had a mountain of lunch detentions already. You better be telling your students, if you have high schoolers, to get to class on time, because it's very real. And that's all I have to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Aislinn. Item D, superintendent report.
Thank you, Mr. Falsgraf. Be keeping my comments short for the superintendent's report tonight because we have 2 special presentations on the agenda. Looking forward to that. Tonight, I'll be focusing on community engagement, goal 3 of our newly adopted strategic plan. During our strategic plan presentation a couple of weeks ago, it was shared that moving forward, we will be linking both the appropriate LCAP, the local control and accountability plan goals, along with the newly adopted strategic plan goals to our board agenda items. And what you see up on the screen is an example from tonight's agenda. This added layer will ensure the efficacy of our newly adopted plan as it relates to education and pupil services, business services, and the like. Per our agendas, the overarching purpose of this addition is to ensure alignment of our efforts and as well as a benchmark of data as found in the LCAP plan currently. Again, as you see an example here on the screen from the current agenda items 11B through E, which is our district comprehensive safety plan, as well as our school site safety plans. So when it comes to our plans, goal 4 of our strategic plan, student safety and connectedness, and LCAP goal 5, which reads, the district will continue to provide a safe and secure drug-free environment for our students. These align directly to these agenda items. So moving forward, you will see these items on our agenda. Next, I'd like to share a recent district-wide communication piece, which formally introduced the newly adopted strategic plan to our community that went out last Friday. The main body of the memo summarized our new mission, vision, along with our core beliefs, graduate profile, and of course, the 5 goals. On the memo, you'll also find a link to the survey seeking community input on the branding of our newly adopted plan. So Alex, if you don't mind, sir, if you could click on that link, it'll take us to the survey. A quick second there. Quick survey will take you less than a minute. You'll find proposed taglines for the newly adopted AADUSD strategic plan on this survey. Please do take a moment to review and select the one that resonates with you the most. We truly appreciate your participation in this important decision-making process. Just to let our community members know that the survey window will close next Friday, March 1st. So thank you. This concludes my report. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. Are there submissions this evening?
No submissions.
We'll move on to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to move the consent agenda in for discussion?
A motion.
Second.
Thank you. Consent agenda items this evening are the warrant register and staffing agreements, E, F, G. And I believe the minutes I missed those. So is there anyone that wants to pull anything off the agenda, consent agenda? for
No.
discussion. My only comment before we call the question is the agreements that follow item D are actually supplemental third-party suppliers for special education services in excess of the minutes that probably exist in the IEPs collectively. They're out there now on our students. Would that be a fair summary?
That's correct. That's for items 9E through G.
Thank you. Anything? Call the question?
Jesus, aye.
Cameron, I.
Jesus, aye.
Brianna Texani, aye.
Not so.
Falls draft by the consent calendar is approved 4-0. So we'll go on to item 10, the personnel action report.
A motion.
Second.
No comments for the PAR for this evening?
Any questions about the personnel action report?
No.
Call the question?
Cameron, I.
Jesus, aye.
Brianna Texani, aye.
Not so.
Falls draft I. Item number 11. Education and pupil services. This is new grant opportunities for High Desert School, Meadowlark students. This is an information item, so I don't believe we need to move it in.
That's correct.
Perfect, thank you.
So this is a information item, discussion and celebration. So we're excited to bring up both of our principals, Ms. Anitris Jones for Meadowlark Elementary and High Desert School, Ms. Michelle Van Ornum, about the newly awarded grants to their respective school sites. Each grant you will hear about aligns perfectly with our strategic goals, as well as LCAP Goal 1 for each respectively, and that is student achievement. So thank you.
I was ready for Meadowlark was awarded $4,900 for our PLWTW grant, which is Project Lead the Way. So we were given $4,900 to provide 6 teachers with professional development in STEM. So what we are going to do, it'll give training for teachers to implement our launch curriculum. The launch curriculum basically gives students in elementary school a head start in STEM. So they have a variety of curriculums that you can choose from that will actually start at elementary school and gateway itself into the middle school and on to high school. So to give them the foundation in STEM that's needed. What we're going to do is leverage the makerspace to support active engagement. So once the teachers get the training on how to incorporate STEM activities into their classroom, they'll make better use of our makerspace. In addition to that, we're going to scheduling PLTW within the school day so that the teachers are actually allowed to do on-site training in the school while working with their class and implement the things that are being taught at that time. We're going to start with grades 1 and 3. We're going to choose 3 teachers, and then in the fall, we'll add 2nd and 4th grade and do an additional 3 teachers to get trained to make it a total of 6. I wasn't sure if you wanted to stop in between. Keep going.
You can have questions at the end.
Okay.
So for our talks at High Desert, we have some new opportunities coming for them. Miss Jones and I worked on the PLTW grant together. And so High Desert is proud to be receiving $15,000 for PLTW. PLTW stands for Project Lead the Way. It already exists at the high school. So what we're doing is we're taking a program that got started at the high school and we're now branching it all the way down into elementary, middle school and elementary to create a solid pathway. So for High Desert, the programs that we're looking at implementing, it'll mean new 7th grade electives in app creator, computer science, and robotics. So if you remember, we had like a Lego robotics program. This will replace that because Miss Alford had switched from robotics into CTE lab. So this is going to be in addition to the CTE lab, but focused in areas that will create a pathway to like I said, solidify that pathway into the high school, which is what they're looking at for pathway programs that go into internships after the high school. And then we're also looking at STEAM exploratories for 5th and 6th grade. So we started this year with 6th grade doing rotations between all the classes. And so each one of the teachers teaches a different exploratory to their students. And then we're going to expand that into 5th grade as well. So they'll also be working with the PLTW program. So for our next one, we've been working on a couple of different things. So I'm going to invite up our new athletic director, Miss Gina Botten, to talk about the LA 84 grant.
Thank you. Hello. So many years ago, when I worked for the city of Santa Cruz, I used to work with the Amateur Athletic Foundation. And so in knowing this, stepping into this new role as the director, I knew that there was an opportunity with LA 84. And so over the summer, I applied to this grant. And what LA 84 is, it's okay. Well, I have a good voice, outside voice. So the LA 84 is the legacy of the LA of 1984 Olympics. And so the funding, the extra funding from the Olympics, they've been able to give back to the youth in LA County. So I'm just going to read a little blurb about LA 84 first. And so they are a leader in youth sports. The LA 84 Foundation is nationally recognized leader in support of youth sport programs and public education about the role of sports in positive youth development. The foundation, with 30 years of on-the-ground experience, has supported thousands of Southern California youth sports organizations through grant making, while also training coaches, commissioning research, convening conferences, and acting as a national thought leader on important youth sports issues. LA 84 levels the playing field so that sport is accessible to all children, while elevating the field of youth sports as an integral part of American life. So we were awarded $10,000, and with our new field, we were in desperate need of some goals. Also the flag football equipment, thank you to Vasquez. This past season, we needed the down markers, and then some volleyball and outdoor nets, along with program development and some coaches clinics. So I'm very proud myself. I've taken a couple of their opportunities with LA 84 as far as coaching development, and then also 2 of our high desert coaches have also done that as well. So we are very excited, and thank you for the opportunity tonight to speak to you.
Thank you, Gina. One of the things that we're especially proud of is the way that our athletics program has been able to kind of merge the schools and connect us. So this year we started really bringing on the Metal Art kids and introducing them to sports with our tournament teams. So that has been a huge thing for us. And then also we are actually having some of our tournament teams be coached by Vasquez players. So we have now high schoolers mentoring our 5th and 6th graders, which is really, it is the coolest thing you've ever seen. So we're really excited about the connections. The middle does matter, and we're kind of making that in both directions. So we're excited about that.
Shout out to
Yes, the girls varsity soccer team is right now coaching our tournament team, which is really fun. So thank you. And the one thing I do want to say, I'm really proud of our athletics program. Dawn Schneider really had a huge part in getting this started. Like without her, we wouldn't be here right now with all this. And then Gina has really taken that on and just continued to grow it, which is really phenomenal. And we continue to offer sports at 0 cost to students, which is really incredible. So the availability for students to be able to play is there, which we're really excited about. And thank you to the district for our fabulous field. It has been so nice to play on a home field and not have to travel to all the other schools. It means a lot to our kids and definitely increases school spirit. So the next one is Active Minds. So this one is we're really working on self-care, mental health, coping with anxiety, ways to help our students. So this grant is going to give us 3 different things. We're going to get an assembly for our students. We're going to get training for our teachers. And then we're also going to get a parent information workshop. So it will connect all those levels because education is a triangle. It has to be parents, students and teachers, staff, all working together towards the same thing. So this will put us all on the same page, talking with the same vocabulary about important issues like mental health. And then I want to invite up Miss Marilyn Alford to talk about our Medal of Honor bus grant.
Good evening. I wanted to just share some good news that our students were able at High Desert to participate in the Medal of Honor Speakers Forum at the Reagan Library. It's something that we have been allowed to do and invited to do as special guests of the Reagan education team. And so each year they have a speakers panel where they invite Medal of Honor recipients to come and speak to the youth and really talk to them about the core values, those core values that High Desert adopted about 10 years ago, of courage and integrity, commitment, sacrifice, patriotism, and citizenship. And it's with those core values and the mentor-like programs that our students really begin to see that it's not all about academics, though academics are super important, but it's really the character that they have. And so with the opportunity to go to the Reagan Library, they were able to hear this past visit on February 8th from Staff Sergeant David Bellavia. And he really talked to the kids about making decisions that maybe are uncomfortable, being able to every day find something that makes you uncomfortable, because life really isn't significant unless you learn to live outside your comfort zone and then make those right choices. And so students, we talked to them about it. Are you uncomfortable today when you have to go and make sure that you're doing the right thing? And yeah, I am. Okay, good. You're learning something. But it's those core values that are so important, and we're really proud of that leadership program. So we had about 90 students that were able to be a part of that speakers forum at the Reagan Library this year. It's something that I would like to see our high school students be able to be invited to and get involved in. So we'll see if we can start making that happen. A big thing is that we don't always have the means or way of getting our students to the Simi Valley Reagan Library. And so through grants like the one that we received, $3,300 did pay for the 2 buses to be able to take 90 of our students, which were 6th, 7th, and 8th graders that had that opportunity. So we just hope that it's something that we can go ahead and continue to do. So we're really pleased about that. Anything more? Oh, okay. Well, Mrs. Van Orner has something very special with going along with what we give our students, as well as something important to the leadership program, is these challenge coins. And these are challenge coins from the Reagan Library. So it's a memento from, thank you, our day there. And I know that we did have an opportunity this year too to invite 2 special guests to participate further at the Reagan Library. So we were able to have Mr. Falsgraf join us that day, as well as Mrs. Van Ornum as special guest. So it was really special. And hopefully next year we'll be able to have more of our board members and maybe the superintendent join us as well. Thank you.
So next, we last year you guys approved for some money for outdoor equipment for our students. We looked into a playground with all the compliance things that we would have to do. You guys allocated a big chunk of money, which was awesome, of $80,000. Unfortunately, it doesn't buy us a playground. So we're coming up with alternate plans. We have a cement pad that's going to go in this summer. And then on that, we're going to be set up Gaga Ball, which if any kid has been to outdoor science school, they play it at outdoor science school. It's pictured dodgeball in a hexagon. That's what it is. It's very, very fun. Middle school kids love it. Feel free to join in a game if you come by. We also found, one of our things we thought about doing was like ping pong tables or air hockey or things like that, but it's hard to move them in and out. But we found these great, they install them at parks and they're outdoor, they're meant to stay outdoors. So all you have to do is bring the equipment in and out, like the ping pong balls and paddles. So we're gonna get some of those installed and then invest in like giant yard games and make like a schedule of different yard games on different days. So we might have a cornhole day and other things for the kids to do. So we're trying to come up with alternatives that fit in our budget, but still give our kids some cool things to play with and entertain themselves during lunch. Busy kids stay out of trouble. That's our goal. So. Then we always want to make sure we thank the Agua Dulce Airport. I think that you guys know the Agua Dulce Airport has been donating $5,000 a year towards our school for the last 5 years. This would be the 5th year. They love their partnership with us so much that they're now giving each school $5,000 a year instead of $5,000 shared. So we've been able to redo our gym. It looks beautiful. We've been able to buy the original set of sports uniforms was paid for by Agua Dulce Airport. Like they've really supported this athletics. And thank you to Terry Comstock. His connection with the people at Agua Dulce Airport got this thing started. And like I said, they love their partnership with us. So I just want to shout out to them. And then we always want to thank Agua Dulce Women's Club Parade of Tables and Acton Women's Club for their school scholarships. If you haven't shopped at their local retail store, do so because it comes right back to the schools. But so far we've raised $20,000 towards a scoreboard. It's not enough yet, but we are making great progress thanks to all of these other places. And then our booster club is active with the Light Up the Night. They are working on lights for our field. So we're going to get portable lights for the field to light it up. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Bryn Bailey for really spearheading all of that as our booster president. She is fantastic and she is a go-getter. And the coolest thing when you come up with a project, people donate because they know what it's going towards. And so with her new project, the very first day we had a banner out, we had a parent walk in and give us $500 towards the project. That's pretty cool. So shout out to our parent, Rochelle Kamanajad, one of our parents who just walked in and was like, I like that project. I think that's really awesome and I want to donate. So our community is involved in donating and making things possible too. So I hope tonight you hear that we just want to give huge shout outs to everybody around us. Like everybody in the community is supporting our schools and they deserve all the recognition. So thank you, everyone.
Comments?
That was all like monumental. Congratulations for all that grant money raised and everyone who assisted in funding all these fantastic things, especially for the middle school, the new electives. I'm jealous. I want those electives. We don't have those electives. And no one will deny the fact that sports are very important to kids. So the advancements in your sports programs are fantastic. And the STEM of the metal art is fantastic. I'm a science person. Thank you.
First, thank you for this lovely coin. I appreciate it. My daughter went to the Reagan Library as part of that group and she had a fantastic time. And thank everybody for the outstanding work on obtaining all these grants. I'm sure that our students and our teachers and our parents are going to benefit from all of them. So I appreciate that. And I do want to do a shout out to Agua Dulce Airport and also the Women's Club. Appreciate their help and all the parents who donate to the school district. I appreciate that.
I know that grants aren't always easy to get. So huge shout out to the staff first for finding the grants, taking the time to apply for the grants and then being awarded the grant. So that's really awesome. So congratulations to our admin and our staff for just being able to obtain that money. And then also having a plan for how to spend it. That's fantastic. I love hearing about teachers being trained at Meadowlark in order to be able to use the makerspace, which is a beautiful building. But if you walk in there and you don't really know what's going on in there, then you're not going to utilize it to the fullest potential that it can be for our students. So that's really great, and our students are gonna benefit immensely from that, so that's awesome. The different electives, I know that we've seen robotics at Vasquez and the cool things that they're doing there, so to be able to have or robotics at High Desert and then bridge that is so cool, then they'll just be that much more advanced and ready for when they get to Vasquez, and they'll be excited to be up there doing their robotics. And they do competitions and all that, right? Is High Desert gonna do the competitions or just get them ready for that?
Probably, but to be determined.
That's super exciting. That's awesome. And then the sports aspect of our small town, you see when we have a youth program, how those sports perform at the high school level compared to when we don't have a youth program and how those sports are performing. It's really, really important to start kids young. You can't start in ninth grade. I shouldn't say that. You can start in ninth grade. But it's helpful when you start younger, and have a group of kids starting younger. That way, when newbies are coming in, there's some kids that are already trained and ready to go. It does make our high school better. And I do believe that sports plays a huge role in our academics, and sports plays a huge role in our ADA. If you're not getting the good grades, if you're not showing up to school, you're not going to be able to play their sport. I do have a kid that only made grades. He made a 2.0 to play football, and that was it. He strove for nothing more than that. He did what he had to do, and he probably would not have a high school diploma if it wasn't for needing to play football. If I could see him play football one more game, there's not a whole lot I wouldn't do for that. But sports are huge when you go from elementary school to junior high. To create that base in junior high is so cool. And I get to watch you guys do what you're doing at High Desert, and it's definitely very fun. And the playground there, I've been at High Desert when I was a kid at High Desert. I absolutely hated it, but it was not a fun place to be. I really thought when I started working at the district, I was like, I will work at Meadowlark and I won't ever work at High Desert. And then I started working there and I loved it. So I was wrong, but I do think that those kids are little, they're 5th and 6th grade, and junior high kids still need something to do. And Michelle, you hit the nail on the head. Idle minds, they get into trouble. So if you keep them busy and keep them doing stuff, they'll stay out of trouble. They'll be more engaged. And last meeting, when we were talking about building the relationships so that kids go to school, that's one way that you build relationships with kids. If you're out there playing cornhole with a student, maybe tomorrow they'll want to go to school more. Maybe they'll say, oh, I really want to be Mrs. Van Ornum. Oh, I really want to get Mrs. Alford with the dodgeball. And they'll want to come to school on a Friday where normally they would have said, oh, Mom, I don't feel good. And the mom goes, okay, and lets them stay home. So just by having an outdoor thing to do, whether it's a playground or activities, building that for your kids is really cool. So I wish that was there when I was there, because we just stood in circles and we talked, and it wasn't productive. This is my turn. Marilyn, Medal of Honor, I could go on and on and on, but I've already taken a whole bunch of time, but everybody in here knows how great Medal of Honor is, and you have put so much of your heart and soul into the Medal of Honor program. I wish I could have gone on that field trip. It sounded absolutely fantastic. So pencil me in for next year. Super cool. And thank you for all that you do for our Medal of Honor program. And you also teach Medal of Honor to other teachers, right? So she doesn't just do Medal of Honor for our district. She's kind of up there. She's kind of an important person. So thank you for all you do for that. And then to the people that just continue year after year to donate to our students and our schools, our district. Thank you so much. There's really not enough thank yous that could ever be said for everything that people have given to our kids. So with that, I'll
That's it.
It's always amazing seeing all the stuff that we're doing at our schools. The metal arc stuff is very interesting. That makerspace was a large investment and it'll be wonderful to see it being put to good use. And if we can, teach our teachers how to incorporate that space into their lesson plans, I think that'll be fantastic. That's probably what they need to be able to really make effective use of it. So I think that'll be fantastic. High Desert, it's just nothing short of amazing. Everything that we always see coming out of High Desert, just it demonstrates a commitment to excellence that I don't think is common to see at a school like that, especially at a middle school that's embraced sports and everything that they've tried to do there. So I love every bit of it. I think it's absolutely awesome, everything that's going on there. And I think I said this to somebody, but you've managed to increase your staff by like 50 people at High Desert. You don't pay them, but the way that you rallied the community around the vision you have for that school and the community involvement, whether it's money being time spent, like you want for nothing, it seems, from the community around you to achieve what you're trying to accomplish there. And that's just really, people believe in you. They believe in what you're doing there. So, I mean, keep doing it. It's amazing. It's awesome. I love it. The Medal of Honor program, just to say a few words on that. I mean, that's always fantastic. It's close to my heart too. I think prior service. So keep it up. It's fun to watch. It's amazing to watch. Proud to be part of it.
Thank you, board members. First off, thank you for the effort you're giving grants, because sometimes in governmental agencies, grants are only chased when the money starts to slip, and there's an odd connection between financial availability of grants during good times and then they're not there so much. So all this hedges financially some of the difficulties we have in the background getting the right numbers. So I thank you very much. The slideshow is awesome. There's brand continuum from one school to the other. There's little things like that that matter in your presentations. Principals Jones, Van Ornum, Director Bott, thank you so much for sacrificing your evening, to come in here and share this with us. Ms. Alford, you would really have to go there and see what this is and what it means for everyone to understand. Thank you so much. That was a memorable moment of my life, definitely. And Coach Terry Comstock, thank you so much for the email you sent me. That's what I have. Thank you. Moving along, we have the second read and adoption of the AADUSD Comprehensive Safety Plan. It's my understanding this is the district-wide safety plan.
That's correct.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Second, good. Any comments?
No comments. For our first read, just shared the highlights in terms of any additions, addendums to the plans for items really 11B through E. Thank you.
Is it time to vote on this?
Yep, yes, sir. It's an action item.
Call the, any comments?
No.
Call the question.
Cameron,
Yes, Susan.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mask on it.
Paul Graff, aye. Item C, second read adoption, Meadowlark School Safety Plan. Again, this is succinct to Meadowlark. Can I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Second.
No comments at this time. Thank you.
Discussion,
None.
call the question.
Cameron,
Yes, Susan.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mask on it.
Paul Graff, aye. Item D, second read adoption, High Desert School Safety Plan. Again, this is succinct to High Desert School. Motion, please.
I'll move.
Second.
No additional comments here as well.
Comments, nothing, call the question.
Cameron,
Yes, Susan.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mask on it.
Paul Jeff, aye. Item E, second read and adoption, Vasquez High School Safety Plan. Again, this is succinct to Vasquez High School motion.
I'll move.
Second.
Comments? Call the question.
Cameron, I.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Masco.
Falls graph I. Moving on, item 12. Business Services nominations for California School Board Association Delegate Assembly for Region 22. Motion, please.
I'll motion.
Second.
The CSBA is conducting an official election for their 2024 Delegate Assembly for Region 22, which represents LA County. There is one ballot per board to be submitted. There are 3 seats available for this go around. So the board can vote for no more than 3 candidates for Region 22. Delegates that will be elected serve a 2-year term beginning April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2026. There are 3 nominees that are on the ballot for the 3 seats, and all 3 are incumbents.
For sake of consideration, Julie Bookman, Eastside Union School District, Steve DiMarzio, Westside Union School District, and Keith Giles, Lancaster School District. If you have anything to do wherever I've been to the Antelope Valley School Boards Association, you know these people. Is there any discussion about voting for these 3 as a plank, as a unit? Does anyone want to consider pulling one out, voting for 1, voting for 2, or should we vote this on the individual level? What does the board say? Do we want to vote by name, or should we just run it through?
I would like to vote for all 3 of them at the same time.
Good. Any discussion? Discussion? Call the question.
Cameron, I.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Masco.
Falls graph I. Moving on, item B, LCAP, a mid-year update.
This is an information item, report. So updated LCAP requirements require mandate school districts to provide a mid-year LCAP update to our community, which shows the effort to ensure that progress towards the LCAP goals are being monitored and evaluated. And with that, Mr. Vensko will present progress and updates, which includes actions implemented and budget expenditures. Mr. Vensko.
Thank you very much. Good evening, board members. As Dr. Sahakin has said, that this is the mid-year LCAP update. A little bit of background, this particular update was brought to us by Senate Bill 114. It is a new requirement. This is the first year of this. Just a reminder that the LCAP that we are currently talking about, we are in the 3rd year of this LCAP, so this will be the final year. Next year, we will have a brand new LCAP. So a part of this mid-year update, we must include all available mid-year outcome data for the metrics that are part of the LCAP. And then we also have to include any mid-year update to the expenditures and implementations that are for the actions for that LCAP. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go through each goal real quick. I can read the goal, and then I will talk about kind of the metric update and then the expenditure update. So goal 1, this is our goal that is talking about high quality education systems for all students, focusing on high academic rigor with a multi-tier system with a focus on narrowing achievement gap for all student groups, special ed, EL students, socioeconomically disabled, foster youth, etc. So some of the little bits on the metric updates, because a lot of this, some of this data doesn't come out to us until the year after. So what some of these, you'll notice some of the have asterisks, and these are all actually technically for last year's data for 22-23. So the metric for goal 1 is the California dashboard, the CASP testing. So ELA, we are currently in orange, and then for our goal is to meet the green. And that there's a within the dashboard itself, which will be explained. I know Dr. Chamberlain will be coming up, I believe, the next meeting to do a CASP data and dashboard update. So I won't go into too much detail, but essentially, we're currently at orange in ELA, math is orange, and our EL progress is at 44.4%, and our goal is 50. Again, recognizing that those three metrics are for last school year. So for goal one, this goal, I will tell you, is kind of an all-encompassing goal. This includes not only the professional development for our teachers, but the operation of the district itself, including the district office, the highly proficient teachers, and our classified staff. So total planned expenditures for the year is just under 10.9 million, and so far through January 31st, we are at 6.6. Moving on to goal 2, this is our eliminate barriers to student success and maximize learning time. And essentially what this goal, some of the actions are things like positive behavior, our SARB, those types of things are, and this really kind of looks at our attendance rate. So chronic absenteeism last year, you can see this is kind of an area that we are definitely talking about and trying to work on. Our current is at 49.5. This was for the 22-23 school year, and our goal would be at 6.46. Suspension rates 3.9 and goal of 3. And our attendance, as this one is not a 22-23 metric. This is our current as of, I believe, as of the end of the 6th reporting period, we're at 91.3% with a goal of 96.28. Total planned expenditures, 37,000. And then it's total expenditures that we've actually done for the year, 20,000. Following up our goal 3, this is our community engagement. As of right now, we do not have any metric update because all of the metrics within the LCAP on this particular goal relate to the LCAP surveys, which are being sent out later this month, beginning of March. So we don't have an update for that right now. But on the expenditures, this is something, these are the expenditures like Blackboard, Communicate, and our SARC posting. So we're at 33,000 and 19,000 through the year. Goal 4, this is really, this is talking about making sure our secondary students are on track to graduate high school. And part of this is including different pathways for them to take like a broad selection of school programs to be a part of. So this one, we're looking at our graduation rate is 97.4 with a goal of 98. ELA college readiness through the CASP at 65.6 and a goal of 50. So you can see there we're well beyond our goal, which is great. And then for math college, we're at 20.4 and 20% goal. So again, as a reminder, 22-23, we won't have the 23-24 data until probably around this time next year. So we won't really know if we hit our 23-24 goal until that point in time, but that'll be discussed later on. This particular goal really talks about or has expenditures such as our counselors, our principals, making sure that the attendance and the activities that are happening at both the middle and high school are meeting our goals to get these students graduated. 1.1 million, and we're total expenditures so far about 600,000. And last but not least is our district wants to continue to provide a safe, secure, drug-free learning environment for our students. This talks about not only our safety and security, but also access to instructional materials as seen by the metric updates. We are at 100% for 22-23 and a broad course of study met for the 22-23 year. And then, as I mentioned before, the other metrics in this particular group are based on the LCAP surveys, which will be coming out later this month. Total planned expenditures, 590,000, and total expenditures, 575, partially due to some of the additional security measures we've put in and some of the additional facilities expenditures we've been doing to make sure that our facilities are in good repair. And with that, that concludes my LCAP mid-year report. I'll open it up for any questions.
Thank you.
Just want to say thank you for putting it together. That thank you to us.
I have a quick question. How are the goal percentages, how are they determined? Is that statewide, is that countywide, or is that something that we just benchmark with other districts?
So when you create the LCAP, you usually start with a benchmark. Let me backtrack a little bit. So the dashboard has it's kind of a whole thing where you have a set point for the district and then whether you're improving or not. And then you get a color based on where you fall within that. Some of the other pieces are just benchmarks within our district, and then we are trying to make progress. The state doesn't, part of the thing that the state doesn't want to do is to make every district strive to get 90% of something when you started at 40%. It's not fair to say a district, hey, you're at starting at 40%. Clearly a 90% goal in a 3-year period is a very difficult task. So they really want to just start making sure that you're achieving smaller goals and getting progress towards those goals. So these are kind of a combination of our district benchmarks, and we do compare them to the state when we do come up with these percentages.
Thank you.
I'll start off by saying thank you very much for a short, sweet, comprehensive report that was easy to understand. So thank you very much. Can you go to goal 4? So the graduation current rate, and it says that's data from last year. We were at 97.4.
Yeah, so it includes a couple, I only looked at the data itself. That was straight from the CalPADS reporting. I think it includes some students that may have left during the year. And so even though they are counted in that count. So the current students that were actually enrolled at the school would have been 100%, but because that includes some of the continuous enrolled school that didn't graduate from our school, that reduces the percent, so to speak. If am I explaining that correctly?
So are we still okay? Because we, and by meaning we, I have very much celebrated that we've reached 100% 2 years in a row of our graduation rate. Are we still okay to celebrate 100% graduation rate? Or are we celebrating a 97.4 graduation rate?
That's a great question. When we're looking at, let's say, the class of 2023 and seniors graduating and moving forward, that was 100% rate.
That's all we'll celebrate that. Thank you.
For goal number 2, moving that marker from 91.3 to 96%, what does that represent in cash flow?
Cash flow, so
Or revenues?
yeah, 5%. I think I said the last time was about 100,000. I recalculated under the new goal. It's about 125,000 per percent. So 5, that's 625,000 a year. So
A lot of attention to that one.
yeah.
Goal number 5, the district will continue to provide a safe, secure, and drug-free learning environment for our students. We have 100% met on that current target there. I don't know if any school district's going to be there. Is there a better metric we can put in place to better measure where we're at with that target?
So I would say with the access to instructional material, that particular metric has to do with the Williams and so it's one of those things that you basically have to be at. I mean, you don't have to be, but that's like the standard, like NHTSA's 4%, 4-star is the minimum.
Yeah.
Even though, so that's where 100% would be. I mean, I guess you could. I'm only hitting probably about 3 metrics per, but I think that particular LCAP goal has like 7 or 8 metrics. So it's not just that particular one for instruction materials. I just didn't highlight it because we don't have enough data.
I think it's something that's really important to us. If we're going to talk about this goal, I think some meatier metrics would be appreciated.
And just to support the response, thank you, Mr. Vensko. Access to instruction materials like the Williams, so it's a 2-part goal for goal number 5. I think to address your question, Mr. Mascone, district will continue to provide a safe, secure, drug-free learning environment, and how to benchmark that data will come through office referrals to counseling, office referrals to the social workers, suspension data, and so forth.
Thank you.
So staff, thank you for tying the LCAP goals, the strategic plan, how that's reported out. In terms of reporting a drug-free environment, put the dope dog on your kid before you send them to school and we won't have a problem there. Drugs don't come from school. Drugs come from somewhere other than school. So report that. Call up all the parents and ask them if they think they're gonna send their kids to school with dope tomorrow morning. And I bet you most of them will say probably not. Okay, thank you, Kevin. We're great with your work. Item C, winter consolidated application. I have no idea what this is, but do I have a motion? No, motion, let's go.
A motion.
Second.
Tell us what this is. please.
Sure. Before I defer to Mr. Bensko, the CONAP consolidated application is utilized by the CD, California Department of Education, to fund categorical funds from various federal programs to the LEAs or school districts in categorical areas such as Title I, II, III, and 6. 4 and 6, and missed 4. So Mr. Bensko, any additional information?
Yeah, so part of the CONAP is not only putting out information or putting information to the CDE about our current year title programs, but it also is the reporting mechanism for prior year federal programs. Federal programs, if you don't know, they have a 27-month grant period. So we would get the dollars starting October 1, July 1st of 24, and then we'd actually have 27 months to expend. And so part of this CONAP period, we have an opportunity to report on the progress of each fiscal year's title allocations. So that's the report that you have here. It was completed by February 15th, which was the state's deadline. And this is just more of approving these reports as presented.
It's one of these necessary evil things that we have to do. Any comments? Call the question.
Cameron,
Yes, Susan.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Massive.
Paul Treff, aye. Our favorite time, board member comments. Mr. DeJesus.
Thank everybody for coming. Appreciate that. Your attendance is very important to us. I'll keep my comments brief. I just want to say thank you to Dr. Sahakian for increasing the security at the different school sites. It's a pleasure to see that security guard out there at High Desert. She's engaged. She's talking to the students. She's aware. I really enjoyed seeing that. So I appreciate your efforts in trying to make our campuses very safe.
I'm gonna start with recognizing a few people. I just want to give heartfelt condolences to Christy Tu and to Lee Jennings, who both recently lost their husbands. So I just want to let them know how much we appreciate them and that our thoughts and prayers are with them during this time. And then I also want to comment on High Desert's soccer field. So I was able to see, I believe it was High Desert's first game last Tuesday. High Desert's first game on their new soccer field. Super, super cool. Like just to walk to the edge of the basketball, volleyball courts and look down and see kids just playing everywhere. It hasn't always been like that. It used to be kids could play in this corner patch of green and maybe they could play over in that corner, but you had to watch out for the sticker patch over here. And then these kids could play here, but only on like 5 feet by 20 feet of grass. So to see the track, to see kids playing soccer, to see other kids warming up, to see parents all around, the snack bar going, super cool. So thanks to our maintenance department and everybody for making sure that that was ready for our soccer games. Super, super cool. And congratulations to High Desert for being able to play games on your own field. It was really fun to go watch. And that's all I have.
I already said a lot.
Thank you everyone for all your hard work. That's all I have.
As usual, I'm proud of the efforts the students of this district give to their scholastic, athletic, and extracurricular activities. I'm thankful for the district staff that supports the efforts of the students, and I appreciate the support my fellow board members give the district administration in its support of the district's students and staff. I'm gonna slow down now. Could I have a list of every parent in the districts? I want to give them a shout out. Calendar. That wasn't fun. We have a meeting on March 14th, 2024, and a meeting on March 28th, 2024, and it's my supposition that we will have some kind of a meeting because we have an empty seat down there right now. And we'll have to go over some applications and fill that seat before, I believe it's the end of March. Before March 23rd. So you can expect a special meeting. And when was I'm taking liberty here. When is we extended the date? When is that date to have your application in?
Tomorrow.
Have your application in tomorrow by is that close of business? Wonderful, thank you. So does anyone have a problem making any of these meetings here? So we don't have an issue with a quorum? No, good.
Take a look at the best meeting. Go there to the wall, see it.
I think the superintendent will make contact with the board when that moment becomes known. You'll do that, correct? You'll poll us. Good. Future agenda items. Differentiated assistance, the state dashboard data, anything else that's like routine little drop in here that we need to add for the next agenda. Is there anyone that wants to add anything to the agenda? Perfect, thank you. That said, we will adjourn this meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting at 8:29?
I motion.
So, oh, good, thank you. Call the question.
Cameron, I.
This is
Brianna Texoni, I.
That's gone.
Paul, you have 5. This meeting is formally adjourned at 8:29 p.m.